Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to my live. I hope everyone was able to enjoy their Christmas, whether you were with family or spent it alone. I think that a lot of people wanted to spend the holidays alone. And I saw a few people upset about it, but I think when I look at all the people that wanted to spend their Christmas alone, a lot of it has to do with healing the root chakra, that toxic tribal culture that sometimes we think to accept in a relationship and we really don't. You know, sometimes the family that you're born into to feel like you have to accept the bullshit. And people are starting to heal from that, and they don't want to have to spend the holidays with family that they don't feel safe with. So, and on that note, when I was shuffling the cards and meditating, I got the solar plexus as the chakra to focus on right now. The solar plexus. The solar plexus is about your connection to your willpower, to your personal power. It's about developing self-esteem and intuition, developing your power. And with that comes, when you're on that journey of working on building self-esteem and your confidence, you have to also have self-understanding and self-acceptance. So it's like on this journey to developing your solar plexus, you have to be your own cheerleader because no one else is going to be your cheerleader. So you have to cheer for yourself, and you just have to be brave and get out there. And also, you have to listen to your mission. You can't second guess yourself. You start second guessing yourself and it's not going to be good. So, not good to second guess yourself. Hey guys, how are you? Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. So, for some of you, you know, if you're someone who decided not to spend the holidays with your family because they're toxic, then you're definitely working on your solar plexus, right? Because sometimes family can make us feel bad about that, spending time with them. Like they expect you to do the bullshit, right? You spent it with your family. You get along with your family, Mawa. I mean, you're lucky if you do. You're really lucky if you grew up in a really tight family and everyone gets along. You're so lucky. It's great. That's wonderful. You know, it sucks for people who don't have a close family, grew up, you know, in a dysfunctional family, and now as an adult, you know, they've chosen to spend it by themselves. So, the solar plexus, this is what we're focused on. This is about your self-esteem, your confidence, your self-identification, your self-respect, building intuition. So learning to listen to your inner guidance. If you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome. Come in. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my videos. And if you're going to be rude in the comments, I'm going to block you. So please, let's not be rude, okay? It's super easy to just be nice. Let's not be rude. So this message here is particularly for a fire sign. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I get a fire sign. Female energy that's coming up. That could either be your sun sign, your moon, sun and moon, and it is safe for you to feel powerful. It's safe for you to be confident about your work. You might be struggling with some trust issue, not trusting that whatever you're trying to develop is going to manifest into something. Because I see someone nurturing something that they want to, it's like they want to bring in harvest, right? Like when you nurture something, you want it to grow so that you can feed off of it, right? It's like someone who gardens. And someone's and yes, those are LED lights. Someone who gardens and nurtures the garden so that it can grow and so that they can feed off of it. That's what here. Like there's something you're working on. You're trying to nurture so that it can grow and you can feed off of it. But there's a struggle here to stay determined and move forward. So you have to fight for this. You're sort of like at the last chapter here of this development. And this is for someone who's highly creative, who has a lot of creative energy. So there's a need to put the past behind you. The past might be showing up and it could be interfering in your thoughts. You know, sometimes you could get excited about a project and then you have doubts. They creep in your head, or things from the past creep in your head. They kind of make you feel distracted. You might feel discouraged to pursue whatever it is you're trying to pursue, right? So what I get is to put the past behind you so you can heal. Whatever happened, that's the past. It doesn't apply to right now. I do see a energy here that's coming up that matches your energy. Okay. Now this person, very enthusiastic, someone who has a lot of high energy. Whoever this person is, I feel like they're spying on you. Like they're spying on you to see what you're doing, to see what you're up to. Is very interested in you, and they could be someone who is married or separated. I need to put a headband on. There it is. They could be married or separated, but I feel like this person has an interest in you and they want to know more about you, so they could be trying to spy on you. So And like I said, this person matches your energy because they're also come off as someone who is a fire sign, like either sun, moon, or rising, or they have fire elements. But I feel like this person is trying to keep an eye on you. They are trying to, they could work in like law, courts, something like that. They could be, it could be someone from your past too, who's just been thinking about you a lot and trying to figure out how to come back and make it up to you or prove to you that they are everything you want them to be. So we'll see. Are they? Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But yeah, it looks like someone's coming back. This person could be like, when they come back, there's something different about them. There's something different about them, and their energy feels a little bit lighter. And I feel like this is going to come as a shock to you. I'm sorry, I know there's messages popping up, but like, hi Blue Heart, how are you? You're 15 years old, a student, and my job is to study. That's great. That's good that you're focused on studying. So yes, somebody coming back. This is going to be a bit of a shock because things might have been at a standstill, but now they could be moving forward. But with the solar plexus, one thing I want to let you know about the solar plexus, for anyone who could have a in their solar plexus, this energy is right at the stomach area. Okay, so you know the saying, like gut, that gut feeling or gut instinct, this is where it comes from, right? Because that is to feel your intuitive messages coming from. So when you have a block in your solar plexus, it's usually because you're feeling insecure, or you're doubting, or you have fears, or you're feeling intimidated. You feel bad about telling people no. You're constantly people pleasing because you don't want to disappoint anyone. And this comes from your childhood, from constantly being criticized, or maybe your parents loved you with conditions, right? And we hate to say that. We hate to say that, oh, I've studied a lot. I have a master's degree in psychology. I've studied, and you know, I kind of want to study more. I want to get my PhD. So I never stop studying. So, and right now, this is what I love to study. I love to study energy and Reiki, how to heal trauma. Very important, right? Because if you can't heal that, it's very difficult to pursue anything in your but this, when you have a block in your solar plexus, it usually comes from like being criticized in when you're younger, right? And also, if you had parents that always do, like, if you don't behave, you're gonna get punished. So when you have parents that say those things to you, this is where you develop that concept of loving with conditions, because then if we're treated like that when we're younger, this is how we treat all of our relationships, whether personal or platonic. We love with conditions. We love when people do things for us, but when they tell us no or they don't do us a favor, get mad, and then we don't want them in our life. So this is where, the beginnings of that kind of unfold. It starts in childhood when you're younger, and then if that goes unresolved when you're dealing with people outside of your family, you have conditions, and when they don't meet those conditions, then you feel a type of way. And sometimes this is how people end up being like people pleasers, because they were always taught that if they didn't do what the other person wanted them to do, the other person would be mad at them. And there's some people that really hate that. They don't like for anyone to be mad at them. So they're constantly apologizing all the time. They'll say yes, even when they have a ton of other things that they need to do, they'll say yes, right? So with the solar plexus, this energy is in the stomach area. So it's connected to all of your organs in that area. It's connected to your stomach. It's connected to your digestion. So if block in your solar plexus, you could struggle with issues with digestion. You could struggle with your upper intestines. For women who are 8 years old or older, your hormones get disrupted. And this is why when you reach that age of 40 or perimenopause, this is why so many women suffer from autoimmune issues, because you're constantly rushing, you're constantly doing things for people. You don't want to tell them no because you don't want to disappoint. And if you're married, it's not just your kids but your husband who you're responsible for, and it's that constant rushing around and not taking the time out to relax that disrupts your hormones, and they are all connected to your solar plexus. So the liver, the adrenals, the pancreas, the stomach, the liver, the gallbladder. So all of the hormones there are all connected to the solar plexus. So this is why when you're trying to get your hormones into balance, you have to incorporate some type of meditation or something very calming to help regulate your hormones, because they're constantly being, because you're on the go all the time, rushing around, and you're probably also working a full-time job and then having to come home and take care of the kids and cook and clean and do laundry and take the dog out for a walk and, rush, the Susie to her soccer game or her ballet class. It's a lot. It's a lot, it's a lot to do for one person. So with the solar plexus, it teaches you to kind of set those boundaries and tell people no if you have to tell them no, and take your time out for you, your self-care practice, your meditation, whatever it is that you can do that's going to help to regulate your hormones. So that's very, very important. So taking that time out for you, someone from the past coming back, trying to get your attention. This person is spying on you, like they can know what you're up to. They want justice. I hope it's not like revenge kind of justice. Hopefully it's not. But if you are a fire sign and you were dealing with the fire sign, just be aware that person is trying to spy on you to see what you're up to. Not good. Yeah, you may have had to leave that person. You probably had to leave that person. Yeah, like if you were living with them, you had to out. Let's see, what else do we need to know about that situation? Root chakra is coming up. So this situation, all right, let's see, because the root chakra has to like tribal power, but also with tribal power, it gives you a sense of group safety and security, right? Some people feel safe in their families, some people do not. So when you're within that group, your material needs are being met, right? Think, child, right? Root chakra, when you're developing the root chakra, that starts from newborn to the age of 7. That's when you're developing your root chakra. So during that time, this is where you're learning and understanding your family dynamic, and everything that goes along with it. So you're learning, bonding with your family, your identity. You're learning safety and security. So some people feel safe, some people do not. I happen to grow up in a family where I did not feel safe, and I can remember being 8 years old and wanting to leave that family. So some feel safe, other kids do not feel safe. Also material needs, like, let's see, it's related to the root chakra here. Trying to have a new beginning here, and the sun. Oh wow, could it be wanting to have a new beginning, maybe wanting to build a family, maybe wanting marriage? Seeing things from a different perspective. This person is really trying to spy on you, and they really want to win you over. But I get a sense this person is very unbalanced and they don't really have it together. They could be balancing like jobs, money, or people. So, they could want to come back and try to build a family with you, but they don't seem very balanced, like they have it together. And especially if it's someone from the past, I wouldn't tell you to get back with them. This one is very, whoever this one is, they're very stubborn. They're not going to change. So don't try to convince them, but or convince yourself that they're going to change. I mean, just because somebody comes back doesn't always mean you should be with them. I would never say take someone back. There are those rare exceptions, and it would be that that person needs to resolve whatever was the reason why you guys broke up, right? So, okay, mutual breakup. Okay, fine, I get it. It was a mutual breakup. Then still have that conversation about why you think it's going to work this time, right? Just to make sure you're on the same page with that person. But if it ended bad, just because someone comes back doesn't always mean that that person is good for you or they want the best for you. Like someone back from the past. But then again, it also depends on perspective. Like, you know, do you not care? You know, and you're just in the moment, or do you have a goal to, you know, be in a serious committed relationship, right? It just kind of depends on where you're at. If you have goals, then meet your goals. Don't settle for anything less than your goals. But this one is stubborn. So, and they definitely want a new beginning. But they need to, there's something about the, just the maybe they abandoned you. Could this person have abandoned you, triggered you? Yeah, it's like something bad happened. They weren't very supportive. Something bad happened in this connection. So not sure that you want to have a new beginning with this person. Be a good idea. Maybe not. Maybe not a good idea. But definitely this person triggers your root chakra, okay? Because that's coming up. Your root chakra's coming up. So this is about abandonment. Hi, Mr. PBX. This is about abandonment. This could be about control, because you know sometimes families are very controlling. It could be about stability. Like, do you feel like your material needs are being met, that you can meet them? Or do you worry about that? Do you worry about being? Do you feel safe in group environments? Do you feel safe with your family or not? But I feel like this could be about control. And usually when someone's very controlling, that means that they are very limiting with their emotions and intimacy, very limiting. And also, if someone is limiting with their emotions, also going to be greedy with their money. So emotions and your money are both linked together. So pay attention to that when you're dealing with someone. If a person doesn't like to open up with their emotions, they're also not going to be generous with their money. It happens every single time. Every time. I've seen it happen. And it's always, just an FYI, sidebar, whatever. It's always more than one chakra that you end up having to work with. Okay. It makes sense if this is coming out, you know, that struggling with like self-esteem. If as a child you were constantly ridiculed, or you were loved with conditions, or you were not made to feel safe, you didn't feel safe in your family, so you have trust issues, because that could be something else that falls under the solar. This is trust issues, right? And if you didn't develop them here, then hi Jasmine, if you didn't develop them here, then you're not gonna have it, for yourself. Like if you were constantly criticized, your parents criticized you, or they always threatened, if you don't behave, punished, or I'm gonna take away your toy or whatever, right? Those are conditions. We don't realize that, but We don't realize that we're treated that way, and then we don't realize we do it ourselves. Like if you do it to your kids, you don't realize that you're doing, setting the stage for conditions, being loved with conditions. But you know, that's what happens, right? Um, but in this situation, this person may have trust issues stemming from childhood. You could also, this person I also feel is very controlling. So be aware of that. I guess, and if they are a fire sign, then definitely they are stubborn and they like to have things their way. And if they don't have things their way, they have a temper tantrum, that fiery attitude comes out, right? Not that you have to deal with that. Please don't feel like you do. But, you know, that's what happens sometimes. All right, what else do we need to know about this situation? Be willing to forgive. Be willing to forgive. Now, to be clear, forgiveness. Forgiveness is important for your health, for your well-being. Okay, if you're healing from the past, forgiveness is good, because you need to be able to heal. You have to forgive people. Now, it doesn't require an intense conversation with that person. You do not have to reach out to that person and say, hey, I need to have a conversation with you. I'm going to forgive you. Like, don't do that. You don't need to do that. You can offer forgiveness on your own. Too many people think that forgiving means allowing that person back in your life. It doesn't mean that. That's not forgiveness, okay? Now, if you want to do that, that's on you, right? But a very toxic situation that you're just needing closure on, right? And that person has not taken accountability, because if you're going to forgive someone, right, and back into your life, there needs to be accountability, right? If a person doesn't offer accountability, then don't do it. Don't forgive them. It's totally different when someone offers accountability. Then you're like, okay, you took accountability, you know you were wrong, you know you're not going to do it again, and then they don't do it again, right? You can't say sorry and then keep doing the same behavior, because you're not sorry. But with forgiveness, you know, you can just do that on your own. Work on it on your own. You don't need that person there. You don't need to invite them back into your life. Forgiveness is about seeing that situation and not allowing it to control how you're going to choose to feel that day. It's just letting it go, so it's not this heavy weight on top of you. So that's what is coming through, is are you willing to forgive? Be willing to forgive. And like I'm just saying, be willing to take an alternative approach to that forgiveness. You don't need to contact that person. And then you can just do it on your own. Hey, I'm going to forgive this person. I'm not going to have a conversation with them anymore, but I'm going to forgive them. Like, I didn't Christmas with anybody yesterday. I mean, I did one person. The only family member I have loves me unconditionally. That's the only person I spent Christmas with. But another family member who texted me, who I haven't heard from in a while, and I only get like 2 texts from this person. Now there's an issue between me and this person, but that person has not taken accountability, and in the past I've forgiven them and forgave them and forgave them, and I still got shit on. So Now I'm just like, okay, I'm done with this relationship. I'm not putting any more effort into it. I've done all I can do. The person needs to work on themselves. I'm going to work on myself. They need to work on themselves. And when until they take accountability, then have a conversation. But I'm still going to forgive them and not allow this situation to affect me as in the past. Um, because I know that that person is on their own journey. Because everybody's on their own journey, right? No matter how shitty they are to us, everyone is on their own journey. And it's not really a personal attack on you, even though sometimes it can feel that way. But everyone's on their own journey. But while you're on your own journey and you're not wanting to take accountability, stay over there, not over here. So I didn't respond back. I didn't respond back. A part of me wanted to respond and just say Merry Christmas, but then there was the other part of me. It's like, why? That person has not done what they were supposed to do to make this relationship better. So sometimes you have to set those boundaries, and you can't, the solar plexus, sometimes you have to set those boundaries with people. And I know that sometimes like the holidays come up and it can seem sad, right? And oh, I'm just gonna forgive because it's the holidays. But just I say keep the same regardless if it's a holiday or not. Keep the same energy. If people don't want to apologize, if they don't want to take accountability for their shitty actions, then keep it moving. This situation with this person is like a joyless victory. Okay, do you know what that is? A joyless victory? It's like you're fighting that you're never going to get. So stop fighting for it. Just stop thinking that because you put all this work into it and you're fighting that you're going to get an apology or recognized. You're not. It's not going to happen. Just go. That's what I'm seeing. And that's hurtful, right? Because we put so much energy into relationships. We want to be recognized. But this time, make the choice. Make the choice. This situation has come to an end. Like the chapter is done. The chapter that you were on with this situation, it's come to an end. And there is some personal growth here, there's some spiritual growth here that you should be acknowledging. Very important to do that. When you've ended a journey with someone, important for you to learn what the lesson is here. Because if you don't learn what the lesson is, you're going to keep repeating it over and over and over again. And we don't want to do that, because what happens when you keep repeating the same situation over and over again? After a while, you get frustrated and you give up hope on relationships with anybody. And then you end up like all these, women, myself included, where you're just like not really wanting to deal with relationships anymore because of all of the trauma that you've been through in the past. And how people can be very disappointing. You put all this energy into them, all the faith, and then they disappoint you. And then they walk away and don't even say, I'm sorry, or, I wasn't in a good place. I apologize. Can we try again? Or can you give me some time? I'll come back later. Just some clear communication. But no, doesn't happen. So definitely this is a situation that has impacted you, and maybe even triggered some childhood trauma that you should work on. You should be working on the childhood trauma. Because if we don't work on the childhood trauma, we will constantly be triggered. And it doesn't matter if you change ships, it will show up in the next relationship. It will show up in any relationship, whether it's personal or professional. It will show up in your job too, you know. Um, you'll repeat that. You'll have a boss that's like your mother, controlling, narcissistic, you know, just evil person, or your dad. And, you know, your boss will show up as that person. And if you don't learn that lesson, um, then it's going to repeat. And you're not going to have a good experience, and your job is going to seem very toxic. It's just a never ending cycle. So, all right, guys, that is your message for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this message. Let me know in the comments. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to build my subscribers on here because I have no idea what's going to happen with TikTok. And I feel like YouTube is a different vibe from TikTok. So, different crowd, right? Everyone has their preference for social media. So, I, I I'd like to try to spend more time on here and share my knowledge here with what I love to talk about. So if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, get to hit the like button, share with anyone who you think might, you know, need this information. I'll catch you guys at the next live.